Hello, hard-headed fans, episode 14. Wow, we got a good variety of content for you on this episode. And as you can see, we have a brand new guest this week as well, our good friend Daniel Gutzmer. Why don't you introduce yourselves to the fans?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. Like I said, my name is Dan. I'm just kind of a buddy of these two clowns. Sports fan. I know Bus kind of asked me on, talk a little bit of wild hockey. Relatively new-ish, I would say, hockey guy. Last couple years. Other kind of main areas that I kind of entertain myself in, mostly college sports, college football, college basketball. Dabble into the pro football, basically anything. Big into golf as well. So that's kind of me.
Biggest Iowa State fan I know as well, Dan. So if you like Iowa State, that's all Dan. Football, basketball.
If you like that bummy school, it is all Dan.
Yep.
You're right.
Damn, Spinny's throwing shots already at
That's
guess.
all right. That's all right. I can't
Spinny's
chase
becoming more
I can't
feisty
hop
these
between
last
the team
couple
with my
episodes.
favorite players like Spinny does.
There it is. We love it. We love it.
Well, let's just dive right in. Our first segment here is just the NHL Playoffs update. As you can see, lots of Game 7s. It's pretty common for hockey series to be competitive and go 6 or 7 games, but 5 Game 7s in the first round, that's insane in my eyes. And I looked it up before we started recording here, and the record for most Game 7s in one postseason is only 7. So 2 more and we tie that record already. So crazy start to the playoffs. What do you guys think about the first round and what to expect going forward?
I mean, yeah, I think that you mentioned it's been 5 Game 7 so far, and failed to mention. I mean, last night alone, they're both Game 7 went to OT.
Right.
So they were.
OT, yeah.
I watched pretty much the entire first one. Fell asleep in the second one, but from what I watched, I mean, it looked like it. I mean, like I said, both very competitive. I don't know, this playoff as a whole. I mean, like I said, most times NHL playoffs are competitive. This year seems to be especially the case. I mean, like you said, every series besides one win at least 6 games. So
exactly.
The eastern side there looks. I mean, the top side of the bracket, you got the battle for Florida with the Panthers and the Lightning. That's going to be kind of a toss-up. The Panthers obviously had the best record in the regular season, so you'd have to think they're going to be the favorite going in. But I mean, Tampa Bay is back-to-back Cup champs,
right? Back-to-back. So
I mean, they haven't lost back-to-back playoff games. I think they're like in the last 17 times they've lost a playoff game, they haven't lost back-to-back games. So, and then like that bottom side, those 2 teams in the bottom, the Hurricanes and the Rangers, there both kind of a toss-up series there.
Yeah, honestly, all of these series seem pretty toss-up to me, especially the Western Conference. Obviously, I feel like the Avalanche have the slight edge for sure.
Slight.
I mean, the Blues,
you think
4-1 Avalanche?
I would be slight. I mean, the Blues not like the way the NHL playoffs were is kind of silly. It's not like the NBA, so it's not like the Blues technically were the fourth. They're the fourth would be the 4th seed,
right?
And so those bottom 2 teams aren't necessarily theoretically be worse. I mean, Calgary had a little bit of better record, but like just the way the Avalanche handled that first round. I mean, like I said, they swept Nashville. Nashville was a solid team in their own, and they have arguably the best player on their team with McDermott, and right now, lately, he hasn't even been the best player on the team. They have the young gun Cal Mocker, who people have said has been the hottest player in the NHL in the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, you got 2 guys like that leading you, and they have what's his name as their goalie. I can't even think of his name. Anyway, but yeah, they got Battle for Alberta there. Those two fan bases are, you would say, I mean, basically Alberta, Canada is like the Montana of Canada. There's nothing else to do there. So those fan bases are ride or die for those things. And the Oilers haven't had success since Gretzky left. So
yeah, I was going to say years for the Oilers.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun series too. I mean, all around, it's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Like I said, if you had a gun to my head, I'd have to put money on the Avalanche just because the way they took their business the first round. But it's really up in the air.
It's tough for me to give it to the Avalanche, obviously being the Wild's biggest rival. I just don't want to. I don't want to see them win. But Spinny, I more or less meant I give them a slight edge to win the West, not necessarily this specific series against the Blues, is what I meant. Because I do agree with you that they should definitely be able to take care of business with the Blues.
You would think so.
I would imagine. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not as into hockey as these two and as I'm sure some of you listening. But it's every year that the NHL playoffs is just it's always super close, it's super competitive
in the world.
Right. It's very fun to watch. I don't tune in much to the regular season, but the NHL playoffs is something I do like to tune into just because of how competitive and close these series are. It's almost must watch TV every game, essentially.
I mean, especially like you looked last night, the NBA was. I mean, they had kind of the prime time game slots, and like especially a little bit for the first half of the Celtics Bucks game. But I mean, those two NBA games,
right? Both of those games
are not entertaining games to watch. And then you got on the flip side, you got both hockey games. Game 7's going to overtime, just so.
Yep.
Hockey's kind of last year or two. It's kind of been ever since they kind of signed with TNT, they got a good crew in there. It's kind of blossoming a little bit. It's fun to see.
Yeah, it's good for hockey. I mean, obviously being in Minnesota, we get a lot of hockey up here, but it's great to see the popularity grow on a nationwide scale. I'm excited to see Connor McDavid more deep in the playoffs. We've been missing that man in the playoffs, so I hope I'm a little Oilers cheering just because I want to see McDavid do some more cool stuff.
Yeah, that series is going to be fun. And Calgary's got that Chinyek, I can't even say his last name, young guy too.
I can't say it either.
But those good, two young guys. I mean, like you said, I mean, even McDermott from Avalanche isn't necessarily. I mean, he's a pretty young guy in his own right. So it's going to be the future of hockey is good.
Who do you guys got? I'm curious. Win in the West, win in the East. What are your predictions as of right now before the second round starts? Who do you got going to the Stanley Cup?
I would say I would take, like I said, Avalanche out of the West. Kind of hard not to. And then out of the East, I'm going to go with the Hurricanes. I just think they're playing. They got to kind of make the goalies kind of been a question mark. They seem to kind of have a young guy that has some injuries and battle tested things. And this guy kind of hopped in the playoffs, and he's been really good so far. And I mean, a hot goalie is what you need to win a Stanley Cup.
Good thoughts there, Spinny. How about you?
I'm gonna just take the experience. I'm gonna take the Lightning in the East. I liked how they finished that series, and back-to-back champs. You got to give it to them until they lose. And I think the Avalanche are by far the best team in the West, and I'm gonna take the Avalanche over Lightning.
Yeah, I am in agreement with Spinny there. As much as I want to choose against the Avalanche, I don't anticipate them losing to the Blues. Maybe in the do they call it the Western Conference Finals? What do they call the?
I'm not even sure, honestly. I think they do. I believe they
not
do.
even a name, maybe.
I believe they call it.
Anyways, I'm going to call it the Western Conference Finals. They should be able to get past the Oilers or the Flames too. So, yeah, I'm going to have to give it to the Avalanche over the Lightning. I'm rocking the same pick as Spinny there. Are you picking the Avalanche too, Dan, or are you going to run with the Hurricanes?
I'm gonna go with the Canes.
Awesome. Hopefully that happens because I do not want to hear Avalanche fans on Twitter if they win it all. That's something I'm trying to avoid.
Avalanche fans on Twitter suck. We hate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Wild season recap now is our next little segment here. Obviously, an absolutely terrific season for us, at least in the regular season. Obviously, the 4-2 loss to St. Louis Blues after leading 2-1. That is very. Huh? Yeah, St. Louis. I combined it.
Sorry,
but that was very disappointing. That was very disappointing being up 2-1 and ended up losing 3 straight to lose that after literally our best record in franchise history. Clearly, Kirill is our best player we've ever had as well. So, I mean, future is still looking bright for the Wild. I'm not, giving up on them by any means, but we still got some pieces and moves to make this offseason to push us to a real title contender. What did you guys think about the playoffs? I was obviously very disappointed, and I didn't like the move to put Talbot in Game 6 in a series clincher after not playing all series. I did not like that move at all.
Spinny, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the Talbot move is kind of a cop out. I just think they were trying to change something up. I do get that, but you got to go
Right.
back and forth. I thought Talbot was the start for Game 5, and then you can go back to Fleury for 6 if that happened like it did. But it was weird putting him in Game 6 like that after you just lost. I mean, Krill's the best player that the Wild have ever had in the history of the franchise. So it's always good to have a guy that almost had 100 points and almost had 50 goals on your squad, and he's got top player in the league potential, and that's what you want. You just got to find
Absolutely.
the other guys to fit around him, and whether you want to keep Fleury or Talbot or however you want to do that. Fleury's probably only got a year or two left, maybe, so it's kind of a hard toss up there, but yeah, I mean, the loss to the Blues was expected. They dominated us the whole year. I felt like the regular season, they just kind of had our number, and I just kind of expected it given just style of plays. I felt like their style of play just was really, really effective against us. But yeah, I think the future's bright, and I think this is the most looking forward to future the Wild have had in a while. So disappointed, but
I agree with that.
But bright future ahead, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. You said a lot of things that I have on there. It's like Kaprizov had for his first playoff series, absolutely shut out. I mean, he scored seven of the Wild's 15 goals in the series, which, I mean, you can't expect too much more from a guy. I think that every Wild fan's biggest thing was where the heck was Fiala in the whole series. I mean, Fiala.
I was just going to say that.
All-Star break, it was somewhere 30-plus goals after the All-Star break. I mean, he was as hot as any player in the league. I'm going into the playoffs, and he just completely no-showed. And especially for him on a year where, I mean, he signed a 1-year deal with us last year, kind of a
expiring contract.
Kind of a prove a year. He's a restricted free agent, but he was kind of, this is a similar thing has happened in the past, kind of no-show in the playoffs. So his future is uncertain. But like I said, I mean, you look at the last time we played the Blues in the playoffs, so based the way we lost that series wasn't even close. I mean, we had no business in that series. He's basically his little brother in that series. A little bit more promising with this one. I mean, help with Billy G's moves with the break, bringing in some size and some toughness. But yeah, like I said, bright future. And then, I mean, like you kind of transitioned into like what the Wild offseason looks like for you. You talked about the goalie situation there. I think Talbot has next year's his last year on this deal. Fleury's an unrestricted free agent this year. So I saw it today. I was on Twitter, and he was, because he played with Billy G, our GM, in Pittsburgh. So I think he likes it here, I think. And so it'd be nice if we can get him, like you said, maybe for a year, 2-3 years. And then
he said he wanted to stay too. I heard.
Yeah,
on Twitter
I did see
today,
that too. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, I think the options there to get him. I think I was looking online. He's probably gonna be around a $3 to $4 million signing. And so it's basically to hopefully buy a year or 2 years. I mean, I saw today too that the Wilds signed their 2021 first round pick goalie Jesper Waldstens is his name. They signed him to a 3-year deal, entry level. So hopefully they can get him a few years, maybe a year or two down in Iowa in the AHL to develop him. And so, I mean, first round pick, you got to think of some stuff for him. But I don't know about you anything else. Otherwise, I can bring some stuff about more season stuff.
Dating back to what you said in the beginning, Kevin Fiala, that would be my main piece. I think we are going to move this offseason. You just can't overpay for a guy, given that he's a restricted free agent, as you said. We're going to have to pay for him. I don't want to overpay for a guy who disappears in the postseason. So, especially given how depressing Minnesota sports are when it comes to the postseason, I just think, given that no-show performance, literally didn't even score in the 6 games. So, I don't think that's not acceptable to me.
I think you're on the nose there when you talk about him being moved this offseason. I mean, I think last year, like I said, he signed a $5.1 million deal last year. Looking like he's probably due for anywhere between $6.5 to $8 million contract. I mean, that's for where he produced this year. I mean, with the Wild only having $8 million cap space, that's just not going to be doable for the Wild.
Exactly.
And so, like you said, I mean, there's a mark out there for him, and which is nice, and hopefully you can get, obviously, like I said, like Billy G made some moves in the offseason or in the trade deadline there to bring in, like Delorier was just a little rental. I mean, it'd be nice to get a guy like him back. Obviously not going to be a productive guy, but he's just a great guy to have around, especially with young studs like Boldy and Kaprizov, and you can allow guys like Dumba to not really have to be a tough guy when they don't really, it's not really their game, which in the past, I mean, having Dumba as your kind of bruiser isn't, I mean, he's not going to do greatness for you in that terms. But like I said, I mean, Fiala trade, I think Dumba's honestly in question for a trade too. It seems like
that, I have that written down.
That's kind of the talk of it seems to have been the talk last handful of years. Who knows? Depends on probably the market for him. But honestly, everything else, like I said, we have hopefully we have our basically our first two lines secured up for a while. With the Foligno, Eriksson, and Greenway line. They extended Greenway this year, so it's going to be interesting to see, like I said, if that goalie situation, it looks like it has potential to kind of resolve itself with Fleury kind of knowing that he's on the probably tail end, how many years left. He knows he can have at least a competitive club with the Wild in the future. And also, I mean, next year he knows that with Talbot, he's not going to have to be responsible for, he's going to basically go split 50-50 with Talbot probably in the regular season if he's coming back, which is, for an older goalie, probably is great for him. So like I said, it's a bright future, but this offseason is going to be interesting to see how Billy handles it with Fiala, and hopefully getting a couple more. I think he's gonna have to do another fourth line or maybe a third line or two with Fiala leaving. So seeing what we can get for Fiala, like you said, the thing that hurts is teams know the Wild can't afford him, so they kind of have to deal him.
Right. That plays into it. What do you think, Spinny, about our offseason? Any other moves we haven't talked about that kind of stand out to you as possibilities?
I honestly, the Dumba and the Fiala move were the two big ones that I had. It scares me a little bit not needing to get goal production of Fiala from somewhere during the regular season. So whether you try to pair those two with trading Fiala for a defenseman and trying to get a goal scorer for Dumba, or you try to do something like that. I don't know how you want to pair that together, but I think Fiala leaving is probably the best scenario for the Wild. But at the same time, you still have to make up that goal scoring in some type of way.
Yeah, that is a good point. Well, I think we covered the Wild pretty well here. Go ahead, drop comments below if you guys think of any other offseason moves the Wild should pursue that we didn't discuss. Obviously, figuring out our goalie situation, and then possibly moving on from Dumba and Fiala would be the main three things the Wild need to do this offseason. But go ahead, drop comments if you have other thoughts there. But now we are gonna go ahead, Spinny.
I just wanted to say one thing to all our fans out there. We covered hockey finally. I know we messed up.
Yeah, I know.
Also, I don't know. Obviously, it's going to be too late for now, probably when this airs. But as we're recording tonight, if you wear your hockey jersey, Chipotle, buy one get one free entrees.
That's facts.
Oh yeah, that's facts.
True.
That is very
true.
true.
So we wanted to. I just wanted to say, there you go. We cater to our listeners. Give us your feedback, please. All my hockey guys that roasted me for not talking. So let's get it.
Yeah, and we deserved that roasting too. Honestly, pretty depressing that we forgot about that. But Spinny and I, being NBA fans that we are, so wrapped up in the NBA playoffs right now. That's kind of our almost our main focus here. I made a little graphic here with our trivia standings. We're starting to collect our standings, and based on Spinny's reactions every time we do trivia, he's always like depressed, thinking he's not doing a good job, and I'm always cocky as if I'm destroying him. And the results here are pretty eye-opening, to say the least. Spinny's only one win behind me and 1 point behind me. So Spinny and I are pretty neck and neck. He actually has more hard questions correct than me, 3 versus 2. So Spinny got me there. Dan, you'll have a chance here to possibly jump in the top 3. Forbrook was by far our best guess in trivia. He actually won. He beat Spinny and I that night. So Forbrook already has a win, so kind of scared to get him back on because he might get another one. But let's see, Dan, if you can beat Forbrook's 5 points.
I don't know if you guys will get any of my questions.
Guess record.
For me, at least, the easy, medium, hard, but I feel like they're all going to be hard for you.
Okay, we'll let you.
You go first.
You ask easy questions.
Last today.
All right.
You want me to go first? Or
I'll
Dan?
go first.
Dan will go first. Let
Right.
let our guests go first.
All right, I'm just going easy one, just the easy one, right?
Yep.
Okay. So my easy one is subject is golf. So obviously, when you let's say you're playing a par 5, you get a 4, that'd be called a birdie, correct?
Right.
You get a 3, it'd be an eagle. The trivia question is, what is a 2 on a par 5 called? There's only one right answer. There's a second answer that technically is not correct. The more technical term.
Spinny, if you know, give me a second.
I think I know.
I think I know too, but I'm pretty sure what I'm going to say is the term that you're not going to accept.
Me too, honestly.
I'm going to say
that's kind of a trick question, but
Spinny and I'm sure on the same boat here. I'm saying double eagle. Maybe.
Oh, I was going to say albatross. I got to be honest.
One of you guys is correct, and it is Spinny.
Let's go.
When Spinny said it, that came back to me.
That's the answer I was looking for. So there you go.
I thought it was going to be a trick because double eagle was actually right, and
double eagle.
Yeah,
I mean,
double
kind of
eagle is
but technically the albatross is the technical term.
Yeah, let's go. Double eagle is like the informal term, right?
Yeah, the slang.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
There you go.
All right, I will do my question next. NHL base question here, easy question. Who was the points leader in the NHL this season?
I think I got it, but
I'm gonna go with McDavid, Connor McDavid.
I'm saying Austin Matthews.
I think it's Austin Matthews. I think it is.
But... Both final answers?
Yep.
Yeah.
Spinny is correct. Connor McDavid in points this year.
What do you have? Like 100 and
I think it was like 120. I don't remember. I looked at it yesterday, but I didn't write it down. But wow, Spinny, you got 2 points already. You're off to a quick lead here.
All right. My easy question. Blake Griffin played college basketball at which school?
Oh, easy.
Oklahoma.
Correct.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, that was an easy question.
All right. My medium one. In what season, when was the last season that a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup? What years?
I'm going to go the 1996-97 season. That's my guess. I have absolutely no idea.
Man, did Montreal not win one with Carey Price?
My guess feels like it's too long ago, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go 04-05.
You guys are both incorrect. It is actually 92-93 was the last year Canadian team won the Stanley Cup.
That's crazy, actually.
I can't believe Montreal didn't win with Price. That's crazy. This man was like the GOAT goalie.
Wow, 0 points.
All right. 0 points.
My medium question. Related to what we witnessed last night, the absolute beatdown the Suns were given by the Mavs here. Which team holds the NBA record for biggest margin of victory in a series clinching game? Doesn't has to necessarily be game 7, but a series clinching game. Why you have that reaction? Please tell me you didn't have this question.
No, because I knew the answer for game 7 because they said it on the broadcast, but I don't know the answer for series clinching game.
I'm gonna say the Lakers.
Series clinching. It was in our lifetime within these last 10 years. So
I might have the one I was thinking of earlier. But
I think it's the Denver Nuggets.
I'm gonna say the Lakers.
Lakers and Nuggets are your final answers. Incorrect. You might remember once I say it here. The Bulls have the record. They beat the Bucks 120-66 in Game 6 of the 2015 first round. Jeez. That was when they still had like Joakim Noah, all those guys back then, 2015. 120-66. 54 points. That's insane.
All right, my medium question. My medium question is a little easier because my hard question, I just thought it was funny. And it's really going to be insanely impossible to get. But,
I think it's going to be possible to get too.
Medium question. What athlete's nickname was the big unit?
Ooh.
big unit.
You want a sport?
Yeah.
I can give you a sport. Baseball.
But I feel like I should know it. Like I shouldn't need to
I think I know it. I have a
the
guess.
big unit.
He's one of the GOATs. He's one of the GOATs.
Yeah.
I think I got my guess.
I'm sure it's because he's tall. Okay, I got a guess in my head.
You guess first.
Tallest player that came to my head, Randy Johnson.
Ooh, that changes my. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with my original answer. I was thinking. It's not right now that I think about it. I think you're right, but I'm gonna say Frank Thomas.
It is.
Oh
Randy
yeah, it could
Johnson.
be big that way too. It is Randy.
Yes.
Johnson.
After you said that, I knew it was gonna be that, but I was just gonna stick with my. I was just like, I can't change it now that Bus said that.
Well, once you said Frank Thomas, that tripped me out a little bit too, because then I was thinking, oh, maybe he's big unit because he's big body, not tall.
Right.
But
I mean, he's probably tall too, but.
Right. Yeah, because how tall was Randy? Was he like
eugenics commercials?
6'8" or something dumb?
Yeah.
All right. My last
That's
question
ridiculous.
is going to be impossible. I know it is, but with the whole giant upset in the Triple Crown, I went horse racing. So I'll take two answers. Either what is the largest margin of victory ever in a triple crown race, or what year did it take place?
The largest margin of victory, like
Right.
the biggest win by the most feet or whatever.
The most lengths.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you, Bus. Do you have a guess? I have a guess. I have two guesses, honestly.
I'm gonna go 1944. No,
I think
42. That's my final
the
guess.
one horse I'm thinking of is in the 20s, but I don't know if it's that
It
old.
has to
But
be a long.
I'm gonna
I feel
go.
like
I'm gonna go 1973 Secretariat.
That's correct. 1973 Secretary at the Belmont Stakes, won by 31 lengths.
Because in that documentary, they talk about him beating the record of the old one from the 20s. Yeah. Shout out Secretariat movie for that.
Hard question.
That's big. Spinny's kicking it in the butt today.
Spinny's up 5. I have 3. Dan has 1.
Solid.
That means I have to get Spinny's hard question. Otherwise, I lose. Dang it.
Let's go.
Okay. My hard question. We talked about these Game 7s in the NHL. So it's a Game 7 question here. How many NHL playoffs have had 0 Game 7s? Hint, 83 years there's been Game 7s. 83 years ago was the first time they introduced Game 7s.
So they've had 7-game series for 83 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to see them
since 1939, if that's the right math. I think it was 1939 they introduced it.
I'm going to say.
So out of 83, how many playoffs out of 83 have not had a Game 7?
8.
I'm going to go with 4.
Both incorrect. This is why it's a hard question, because it's a lot bigger than you would think. It's 19.
Ooh.
19 playoffs in the NHL have not had a Game 7, but the last time it happened was in 1977. So
yeah,
essentially not a thing anymore.
Okay. All right.
Good try, though.
Last question for y'all. What Olympic sport did politician Newt Gingrich praise as what freedom is all about? He called this sport what freedom is all about.
This is going to be a ridiculous answer. I'm already knowing. Can you give us summer or winter?
It is summer, yeah. It is summer.
Okay. This is what freedom's about. Okay. This is going to be
I'm going to
not
say
going to be a good answer. I'm already knowing.
What's it called? I'm going to do the swim dancing. What's that called? The water acrobatics or whatever it's called. Like when they jumping out of the water at the same time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's go. I'll go along those lines. I'll go water polo.
It's beach volleyball.
Ooh,
It is.
I love beach volleyball. So.
Oh, I thought about saying that too. Oh,
I thought you were gonna say it. Honestly. Because it's me and it's an Olympic sport. Like I thought you might have it together, but
I don't mean to rush
right.
off, boys, but I'm gonna jump off. I got a tour at my apartment, so I'm gonna jump off here. But I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, it was great having you on this episode, Dan.
Love you, Dan. We'll get you back on for some more hockey.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Or maybe golf, huh? A little golf major talk.
PGA Championships coming up this week.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Yeah, keep it in mind.
Out,
Thank you, Dan.
Wow, Spinny. You know what that means now, right?
Oh, that's me. Oh,
updated the trivia standings.
Too. Let's get it. Come on.
That means you got 1. You now have 4 hard questions correct. 2, you now have you're tied with me for most wins, but you have 1 more point than me now. So Spinny is actually the trivia leader as we stand. That was like so shocking to me when I was collecting those numbers last night, just rewatching all of our old trivias. I was like, for sure thought I was gonna have at least double. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm like literally neck and neck with Spinny.
I thought you were gonna be at least up by like 10 points, if I gotta be honest.
Yeah, your 10-pointer last week, that helped close the gap. I did get 7, but yeah, 3 points difference in one game. That's usually pretty good. And you got 2
shout
points
out to
more
Secretariat. Shout out to the greatest horse of all time.
My God.
Shout out.
For some reason, that is a major L on my part. Because you know why I picked 1942, whatever I said? Because that's when I thought Secretariat ran. I didn't realize he was in the 70s. Oh my God,
73 was the Trips crown.
See, if he would have worded it, what horse? Then I would have just said Secretariat. But all right. Next subject here. We're gonna talk some random sports news. There's been a lot of crazy stuff happening last week. The first being 2 no-hitters. The first was thrown by a 22-year-old rookie, Reed Detmers, for the Angels. They won that game 12-0. He only had 2 Ks in this start, Spinning. 2 Ks in 9 innings through a no-no. That's pretty impressive.
It's crazy.
He also hadn't gone more than 6 innings. His longest start was only 6 innings long.
And they just let him roll it. Wow.
Yeah, they just let him go with it. This was only his, I got it written down here, only his 12th career start. So he became the 25th rookie in MLB history to throw a no-hitter, which given how long MLB's been around, that number's pretty small, actually. Only 25. So very impressive by Reed Detmers. Yeah, obviously.
No. How many? What did you say again? Give me that stat. That's perfect games, isn't it?
Was it? I have.
Yeah, because there's been a lot
25.
of 25 perfect games.
No, not
no hitters.
There's 25.
There's been a
no,
bunch.
I'm not saying no hitters. I'm saying he was the 25th rookie to throw a
no. Oh, rookie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No-nos, there's been, yeah, you're right. There's been a lot more no-nos than 25. But yeah, I mean, up to this point, Reed Detmers, he only even hit 6 innings 1 time, and then all of a sudden he throws a no-hitter. So I'm sure Angels are hoping for a lot more of this from this guy going forward. But given his inconsistencies thus far, who knows?
Agreed. And our other no-hitter was in a loss. By the Cincinnati Reds. I believe it was a combined no-hitter. The starting pitcher was my guy, rookie high pick Hunter Green, but I can't remember. Do you have the reliever's name written down?
No, I didn't write down his name, honestly.
Let's see. Let me get it. I'm sorry. Warren, his last name is Art Warren. Art Warren and Hunter Green combined no-hit L for the Cincinnati Reds, who are 9-26. They lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Also bad. I actually picked up the Pirates starting pitcher in fantasy, and he still had like 20 points as well. So great pitching starts there for the Reds and Pirates in that one.
Yeah, I mean the Reds only had 4 hits, if I remember correctly, and then obviously Pirates had 0, but they still won. Did you see how that run scored? I imagined it was walk and then, like a stolen base and then tag ups from there is how I imagined he scored. Because obviously it had to be a walk to be a.
It was a
unearned
fielder's
run.
choice.
Oh, fielder's choice. Okay.
So I don't know. I wasn't watching the game. I don't know how he got on, but the
Right.
run scored on a fielder's choice. So
Yeah, he had to have got on via walk since it was not non-earned run. But I mean, you can't get any lower than this for Reds fans. You start historically bad. Even for their standards, this is a very terrible start. And then you throw a no-no. Your coveted rookie is part of a combined no-no, but you still lose the game.
Crazy.
Red fans are feeling it now after
They're
that.
furious.
All right, the next news. You guys ready for it? Based on our two different reactions here.
Let's go.
Tom Brady, whopping 10 years, $350 million, right? I got that right?
5, yeah.
Or is it 375?
375, 10-year 375.
375. $375 million for Tom Brady, signed with Fox Sports to begin announcing immediately after retirement, whether it be, I would imagine after this year, but you never know with Tom Brady. So
Brady's career playoff earnings so far, or career earnings so far is $330 million from his NFL game checks, and he gets $375 million in 13 less years from Fox. Just shows what how much money the NFL makes the networks, and so how much they can give out. And obviously Tom is the biggest. I mean, the GOAT, literally the biggest possible attraction as your lead play-by-play announcer. And you look how good that Romo has done, and obviously, even though Aikman's not my favorite, he's obviously really good. So it's just, and if past quarterbacks have done well, and Brady's just entertainment factor is very, very high, and obviously he's super smart and knows a ridiculous amount about the game. So I can't wait. I literally can't. I thought I was going to be, and obviously we'll still be sad when Brady retires, but man, I literally get to hear him announce my game. He just gets to be the voice of the NFL now. He gets to be the voice of Fox for all the primetime games. Man,
oh my gosh,
couldn't be happier. I literally could not have envisioned a happier retirement for.
Did you? So I'm assuming this means that you had no thoughts of him doing this. You didn't think he would become a broadcaster at some point.
I mean, I thought working in media is where he would end up in some fashion, but I also thought he might go more businessy and do companies and focus more on the TB12 company and then making that more. That's kind of what I saw. But given what he wants, broadcasting makes so much sense. The time commitment is very little, honestly. It's not like crazy. It gives him, it's basically just enough to keep his ridiculously hardworking person, like, keep him entertained. It's basically just enough to like keep him entertained. It keeps him in football that he absolutely loves, but it's not the grind of coaching because he wants to be around his family, and that's part of it. His retirement. So like, it's a ridiculous amount of money, a very low time commitment, and something he's going to find exceedingly fun. It's just perfect. It's just, I couldn't write it any better. I couldn't.
This obviously, I'm so mad about this. I thought I didn't have to deal with Tom Brady anymore, but then he comes back, and now I have to deal with him playing football a whole nother season, and I have to, he's going to win another Super Bowl. Probably, since it's Tom Brady. He's going to win another Super Bowl, and I'm going to have to watch that. And now I'm going to have to watch him for 10 more years when he's done. I don't know. Okay, but let's be real. I don't hate Tom Brady that much to where, like, I'm not going to, like, tune into these games or anything. Social media-wise and personality-wise, he's very outgoing, so he'll actually be a very good broadcaster. I'm not even worried about that. And it is kind of interesting to think about how well he's going to be able to, give us analysis of plays and formations and all this, given how well Tony Romo did. I mean, Tony is out here calling like plays before they happen, and Tom Brady's like a zillion times better than Tony Romo. So you would imagine Tom Brady's mind is going to be – it's going to be interesting to hear him pick apart the game. So that's definitely interesting. And yeah, at least we'll have him going forward, I guess. His personality will fit in very well, I think, for broadcasting.
And we get the Kevin Burkhardt combo with him. So I'm a Kevin Burkhardt guy.
Burkhardt is solid.
I think he's solid. I think it's perfect. It'll be absolutely hilarious, honestly. And,
yeah.
And then another thing I want to talk about related to that, not related to this, before we move on very quickly. Amazon's, I don't know if we talked about Amazon's broadcast boost, but we get Herb Street back on the NFL. And
yeah, that's awesome.
And who's the other one? Sorry, my mind's drawing a blank here.
Yeah, so am I.
Herb Street and Al Michaels.
Oh yeah, Al Michaels. Yes.
Al Michaels is leaving NBC, and we get him and Herb Street together for those Thursday night games. That's gonna be sick. Oh. I enjoy Herb Street on college football, so obviously he doesn't know quite as much, but it'd be cool to see him in the NFL. And Al Michaels is obviously a GOAT of broadcasting.
Yes.
So NBC Sunday Night Football just got significantly worse on the Al Michaels loss there, but it'll be cool to see him on Amazon nonetheless.
Yeah, there's solid lineups on every network. I mean, Buck and Aikman switched to Monday Night Football too. So usually I feel like Monday Night Football is kind of like not very good. I don't know. I've never really liked the broadcast of Monday Night Football, and I don't mind Buck and Aikman. So I think that's even an upgrade in that regard as well. So yeah, look, new updates with broadcasting for the NFL. Yeah. It's very exciting.
And Chirico is taking Michael's spot, so it'll be Chirico and Collinsworth.
Oh yeah, Chirico
on Sunday Night Football. So
those are solid replacements.
Probably the worst, but still solid.
Yeah, the worst out of all the lineups.
Of those,
sure.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. Our next little topic here, Brittney Griner. She is still in freaking Russia. This is maddening to me. Her pre-trial detention. Did I say that right? Got extended 30 days. So she's in jail in Russia for sure at least another month. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for her. Like she just, essentially had a dab pen on her, and now Russia's just using her to levy stuff against the United States. They're just trying to get as much out of the United States as possible. That's why they keep extending her detention and keeping her in jail. And it's I don't think we're doing enough on a league level. I think the NBA could even make some steps. I know the WNBA is obviously trying, but I think the NBA, given their platform, should be maybe making some steps to help out with this. And then obviously on the governmental level, we're clearly not doing enough, because this woman should be back in our country by now.
88 days. If you follow us on Twitter, you've already seen this, but we retweeted, our Hardhead account retweeted today Don Staley's tweet in 88 days. So she needs to be back in America at this point. Holy cow. We're talking 90 days for a dab pen, and we're also not talking about a nice, cushy American prison either. We're talking about Russian detention centers, and who knows what goes on in those bad boys, especially for an LGBTQ plus member or person like Brittney Griner, and how the views on that are in Russia. So I feel for her on so many levels, and I just hopefully we can get something done to get her back.
Yeah, it's not okay. And as you said, 88 days, that's 3 months, and then it's extended 30 more days. So a minimum of 4 months she'll have spent in a Russian jail. That is way too much. And yeah, I am scared for her. I don't know what she has been going through. Obviously, I'm sure based off the reports I've read, her lawyers are in contact with her a decent amount of time. So they've been saying that she's okay and she's safe, but still, we don't know what's going on with her. Like, she could be getting assaulted in jail like every day, or who knows. So literally, I'm very concerned for her and and her well-being. So I hope that league level, governmental level, we up our, what's the word I'm looking for? either way, we just need to get her home. We need to do more and get her back here because no one should be put through that. That is ridiculous to me. Our last little topic here from across the sports world, we kind of tied it in earlier a little bit, I guess, would be the Kentucky Derby. So, wow, 80-1 odds. Spinny, I know we talked about this yesterday or 2 days ago. Do you remember what that was equivalent to, the 80-1 odds? You had told me that.
There was I saw a graphic on another sports podcast that had a few things, but the only one I remembered was current Seattle Seahawks odds to win the Super Bowl. So that puts it in a little perspective for our NFL fans how ridiculously unlikely it was.
Rich Strike is the name of the horse that ended up winning the Kentucky Derby. Preakness is the next of the Triple Crown. Rich Strike is not participating in the Preakness, which I found interesting. I would have to do a little more research as to why, but yeah, giving away the chance
they are resting for the Belmont. So
they're just resting for the Belmont.
Yeah, they don't think the horse can make all 3 races and be competitive. So they're taking the mid one off and hoping that we can get 2 competitive races out of this guy. Obviously for them, if you're competitive in one of them and can place, that's a huge amount of money difference. So they're just trying to narrow it down. So hopefully they can get one more really good performance out of that horse there. So
yeah, Rich Strike though, Kentucky Derby winner. The 80-1 odds was the second biggest upset in the 148 years of the Kentucky Derby. So absolutely crazy and something that you don't see every day. The only one that had a bigger upset was in 1913. So it's been an insane amount of time that an upset like this occurred in the Kentucky Derby. So that was interesting, and we just wanted to mention that briefly as well. Next, we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs update. And today, as you've been noticing, we're doing a little less slides. We want to show our face a little more to you guys.
Yeah, because you want to see our ugly mugs.
Spinny's already fist bumping because he knows he's going to get a hype up the Celtics here. We might as well just start. Right? You want to start with the Bucks?
Let's start with
all right. Let's start with the Bucks Celtics since it's fresh in our mind from that beatdown they gave the Bucks in Game 7. Wow, was not ready for that. When the way the game started, I was like, oh, is this another legendary Giannis performance? Is this man going to drop 50 points like he did in the finals? Like, this is kind of what I was expecting because I remember texting you.
What did he have?
It was 13, like midway
8 and 6 in the first quarter.
Right, in the first quarter, yeah. Yeah, when I texted you, it was like in the second quarter, and he had 17, 12, and 7 already. And I was like, oh my gosh. Other than that first quarter, though, Celtics defense was terrific. Absolutely terrific.
So good.
81 points the Bucks scored. Like, that's it.
And Grant Williams, let's go, man. This man is balling, making 7 threes, 7 for 18. He shot a lot of them. They gave him a million wide open ones, and he made it pay.
Yeah.
He said Udoka was consistently telling him in the huddle to keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. Everyone's telling him to keep shooting. And he finally came through and was banging them. Tatum was great. Brown was solid. And he just demolished them. It was awesome. I absolutely loved it. And Giannis was just a little more off. I mean, you can't blame him. The guy's absolutely carried them. So through everything in the series.
Yeah.
No dogs for how he played in that series. But yeah, the Seas just played a team game and they were hitting shots. You know, when you hit 20 or when you hit 17 more threes than the team, you know, it's not very likely you're going to win, but that's the Bucs strategy. And they gave it to them and they hit it. I mean, it's been on-off shooting games for Boston. And the only off shooting game they won was Game 6. And that's because Tatum decided to be an absolute superstar. Yeah. And he had his first real superstar moment and going back and forth and battling Giannis and really pulling that game out in the fourth quarter there. So beautiful series. Can't believe it. I hate the Bucks. I hate the Bucks, man.
Same.
So okay. Also, I want to preface when I use the word hate on this podcast, I mean sports hate. There's a difference for me between sports hate and real person dislike. And I will, if I ever use that word on this podcast, I'm talking about sports. Outside of sports, if I'm ever doing that, I'll make sure and let you all know. But sports hate the Bucks, and so that was awesome to see Boston just rip them up. And this next series is going to be a dogfight too, probably going to 7. But yeah, it was wonderful.
The Grant Williams, though, 27 points. That was his first game in his career leading the Celtics in scoring. So, yeah, what a time to do that. Game 7 of a second round against the best player in the world. So, yeah, I didn't particularly like the fact that the Bucks just all game continued to let Grant Williams just get open shot after open shot. I understand you have to choose someone to give up the open shots to, but, like, after he's hit a couple, you got to at least close out with some urgency, and they were not. They were closing out hands down. They're closing out, slow. They just were not getting out to contest Grant Williams' shots very well, and that's why he was able to knock down 7, 8 threes or whatever he had, and that was essentially the difference is his performance. Like you said, though, 17 more threes. That's obviously the main difference here in this game 7. Bucks shot 4 for 33. And the Celtics shot 22 of 55, 12% compared to 40%. So, 28-point win, and you have 17 more threes. Yeah, that's all you got to say about that. Going into the other series, though, the Heat Sixers here, I'm glad the Heat were able to pull it out in 6 games. Absolutely pathetic showing by James Harden. Spinny, I'll let you rip in James Harden a little bit because you've been ripping James Harden to me off the pod nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm going to start this off by ripping you, honestly, if I got to be honest. This man trying to tell me James Harden is better than Jimmy Butler. And I'm loving how that's looking right now. How's that looking to you, Mr. 2 shots in the second half? What, did the Sixers trade Ben Simmons for Ben Simmons? Or what? Like, 0 points, 2 shots? Like, this man, I get that he can't do it every game. I get that. I get he had his resurgence for 1 game in that series. You cannot take 2 shots as the second best player on a team when you're healthy. That's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Especially in an elimination game.
And you can't expect anyone to respect you as a player when you come in and do that, and when consistently throughout the end of the season and this playoffs, you have shown you cannot get around dudes anymore. You can't beat guys off the dribble. Even on screens, he struggled beating guys off the dribble. Like, what are we doing? I would love to see James Harden. I know this is not going to happen, and this is a pipe dream, but I hope this man goes back and puts some work in for once in his life. Because I love James Harden. I want to see him be good. I want to see prime-ish level James playmaking with Joel. That would be nuts.
Joel, yeah.
If Harden could hit those open threes off the pick and roll with Joel like he used to be able to with Clint Capella, can you imagine that level of? I just don't think that James Harden exists anymore. And given the work ethic and what he showed us of himself as a person. And as a person from the perspective of drive, what he's shown us in his drive and work ethic ability gives me no reason to think that he's going to do anything different. And I think prime James is a thing of the past. And it's sad. It's sad.
And I'm basically in agreement with you there. I'm gonna give James a little more time. I'm gonna give him at least a month or 2 of next season. If he doesn't get his ass in the gym this offseason and get into shape and put the actual work in, show us that drive, like you said, that made him so good back in the day on the Rockets. He was in. I feel like, guys, this is honestly a trend that you're noticing a lot more in today's NBA. Just like Anthony Davis, he gets the ring, they experience some success, and then the drive just goes away. They just don't have it anymore.
Harden doesn't even have any success. He doesn't even have any playoff success. This man in his prime was awful in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's never been
awful. Not awful. Awful in elimination games. He has been very effective and productive in the playoffs in his career. but in elimination games, he has been atrocious.
Yeah. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm going to give him a little bit, but yeah, like for all those reasons you said, it's hard to anticipate him turning this back around. I think we're past his prime days. I'm going to admit that, and I'm going to have to admit now that Jimmy Butler is better than James Harden. Oh my god. Yes, you were right. I was wrong.
Man, I love these last 2 weeks on the pod. I do have to admit, these might have been the best 2 weeks for me. Sheesh, we got the come up, man.
Game.
But one thing I will say is that I did not expect Philly to win this series either, especially given Joel is obvious not the same level of Joel that he was, given his broken face and multiple like hand injuries and all the crap. So I wasn't even expecting Philly to win, given all that with Joel, but you can't score 0 in the second half of an elimination game on 2 shots. I would have rather seen Harden be 0 for 10. I honestly would have.
Right, yes.
But when you just completely stop shooting, it's just like, I don't know.
Very passive. It looked like he was ready for the season to be done. He just accepted the L, essentially. He didn't. There was no drive, like you said, and no intensity to keep shooting. And I do want to mention before we give a quick little East Conference final preview, I want to mention the other 3 main players' stat line here, because they also did not show up in this Game 6. Embiid, not 7 for 24. Maxey, 9 for 22. Harris, 6 for 13. Combined, that is 22 of 59, 37% from those 3 guys. And they were 5 for 20 from 3, only 25%. So those other 3 guys didn't perform as well. And when you're seeing your other teammates struggling like that, that's when you got to be more aggressive at shooting and getting your shot, James Harden. So there's what was his stat line? He had 9 shots, I think, total. Just no reason to only shoot 9 times in an elimination game. Just like I said, it looked like he was ready.
Tyrese Maxey shouldn't be more aggressive than you. Tyrese Maxey shouldn't be more aggressive than you. Like, what are we doing, James? What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, Eastern Conference Finals, I'm sure you're just going to rock with the Celtics, huh?
I'm going Celtics in 7. This is how I picked it. I've said Celtics in 7 over Brooklyn, Celtics in 7 over Milwaukee, and Celtics in 7 over the Heat. So I'm just sticking it out. Obviously, they beat Brooklyn quicker, but I think this series is going to be a dog fight. Miami's a dog team. The only big advantage I'm giving Boston is I think Miami's 3-point shooting individuals will struggle against Boston's defense, especially like Hero and those smaller players. So I'm going to give Boston a slight advantage in that. Max Strus is not that small, but I think they'll struggle too, and Gabe Vincent as well. All guys that I think will struggle against the defense, and even Victor Oladipo. I don't think their guards will be very productive against Boston's defensive guards.
What's the word on Kyle Lowry? Oh, it says unlikely to play in Game 1. Well, actually, this other report says he's already ruled out for Game 1 too. So that's obviously a huge impacting development here. If Kyle Lowry is not able to play in the majority of the season, that's going to really hurt Celtics. The Heat. They need that veteran point guard, and I mean, obviously, he's got experience. He's choked a lot in the playoffs, but recently he's been very good in the playoffs. And obviously, the Raptors run, he was amazing in the NBA Finals in that series as well. So they need Kyle Lowry. I'm going to stick with the Heat, exact same reasons you said, just because I rocked with Heat from the beginning. They were my pick to win the East. So I'm going to go Heat in 7, and I'm just giving the slight superstar edge here to Jimmy Butler over Jason Tatum. Just very slight. Like you said, though, this is going to be an absolute dogfight, and I cannot wait to watch the series. This is going to be an amazing series.
Agreed.
I do also want to say, before we jump to the West, that I am good with Celtics winning. Before I switched my picks, I originally had them in these conference finals. I like the Celtics. I like Jason Tatum. I like Jaylen Brown. I like these guys. So that's why I'm really looking forward to this series, because there's 2 teams that I like, and there's a bunch of guys on each team that I like. And matchup wise, it's almost perfect with these 2 teams. So yeah, for sure it's got to go 6 games at least, right? Like I can't picture anything less than 6.
X factor
There's
is
just no
Kyle
way.
Lowry too, from the perspective of he would be the only guy in the series on either team that can really run the point like a point guard and slow possessions down. And when we get in the thick of it, really makes you get a good shot. And I think that is gigantic. And it was something in the Milwaukee series that Boston consistently struggled with at points, was just taking early in the shot clock shots that weren't great and not having that guy out there to really calm everybody down, that Chris Paul-ish person. And Kyle Lowry can be that guy. Now I say Chris Paul is person. So,
yeah,
last night
jump to the West.
He wasn't Chris Paul-ish. He was awful. So let's jump to it.
He was awful.
Give me your instant reaction to Suns Mavs, Bus. What was your instant reaction?
Instant reaction. Well, I had texted you this, and I'm gonna say it here on the pod, so it's official. I think we've seen the end of Chris Paul. I think obviously he's already said he's playing next year. I'm not saying he's retiring.
3 years left in his deal.
I'm saying in terms of winning here, I don't think the Suns will get back to the finals. I really don't. He's old. He's going to continue to just get older and slower. And I really question if Booker can be a 1 on a team. I don't know if he can. So I'm kind of worried about the Suns going forward. But that was kind of my instant reaction. It was just the shock that Chris Paul is just so like lackadaisical and just not really involved in this game 7. They got down big and there was just absolutely no energy from the Suns or their fans either. The fans were pretty sad in my eyes too. Even in the first quarter when it was still pretty competitive, the fans were not loud at all. I was like, just from watching the Celtics-Bucks game first and then transitioning to that where the entire TD Garden is just erupting every single second. Obviously, again, different scenarios here, but the fan energy from the tip was a 10 times better by the Celtics than Suns. So I don't think that helped them in any regard either. But yeah, just, oh my God, I got some stats here I'm going to throw off to you, Spinny, because this is just going to show you how ridiculously bad these guys were.
0 field goals
as you guys all saw, 0 for 11, Booker and CP3 combined. Just absolutely unacceptable start to the game. They were down 57-27, but he only scored 27 points in one half, Spinny.
And Luka had 27 in the first half as well.
And Luka had 27. You know who else had over 20 in the first half? Spencer Dinwiddie, 21. So Luka's tied with them by himself, and combined they're up 48-27, just 2 players. Like, what are we doing here, Suns? The lead hit 46 points. That was the biggest deficit the Suns have faced all year. 46 it hit with 6 minutes left in the fourth. It was 111-65. What? Spinny, we're talking a game 7 here.
Crazy.
Oh, just absolutely gross. And here we go for the combined stats here. Oh, I don't even want to say it. It just makes me want to puke. Devin Booker, 3 for 14, 11 points. CP3, 10 points, 8 and 5 points. Combined 26 points combined from their big 3. Luka had 27 in the first half. So he outscored them in one half. 3 players. Combined, Mavs big 3. Luka, Dinwiddie, and Brunson. 35, 30, and 24. That's 89 points combined. The big 3 for the Mavs, who should theoretically probably be worse than the big 3 for the Suns, outscored them by 60. Where's my math here? 63 points. These were my actions. It was more to me about the Suns' downfall and the Suns' lack of showing up than it was the Mavs just absolutely kicking their ass. That's how I was reacting to the game unfolding.
Also, the shot attempts. Aiden can't take 5 shots. And Chris Paul, the Suns are at their best when Chris Paul's aggressive and looking to score and making you believe he's going to score. And then his insane passing ability off that is crazy. Point guard just took the L today. I feel bad for all the Chris Paul stands. My guy Ryan Russillo is hating his life today. Lots of Chris Paul stands out there hating their lives today. But I honestly think it is the basketball gods are watching this one. I'm going to go off on a little conspiracy Spinny's conspiracy theories.
Let's hear this. Let's hear this.
The basketball gods were looking down. They were like, ooh, Suns Mavs. Who do we give this win to? Okay, we're liking the Suns. We're liking the Suns. Game 5. Oh, what is this Booker guy doing? Oh, is he making fun of a player significantly better than him? Oh no. That's what the basketball gods did. And then they flipped it right around. Because ever since Booker said he's pulling a Luka, Luka was pulling a Luka and absolutely dominating the series, winning it. Booker deserves some laughs in his face for that. Like, you made fun of this man, and he turned around and whipped your ass. Like, rolled it. Like, scored more points in Game 6 and Game 7 than Paul and Booker combined in Game 6 and Game 7.
Yeah.
Man, just like Lucas said, it's easy to talk when you're ahead. This man came out after taking an L in Game 5, said, it's easy to talk when you're ahead, and then comes back and dubs them. Stud. Second best. Okay, here's my other hot take. We might as well roll on it while we're on the topic right now. Luka Doncic, right now. No disrespect to my man KD, because his team was rough, but second best player in the league right now is Luka Doncic. Mark it down, check it off. I said it right here. Luka or Giannis, Luka, top 2 right now for sure.
I'm not in agreement there. I think Luka. I'm giving him this third, but I'm giving him. It's close. It's close. I'm not even throwing KD in there. So no disrespect to KD, but he's not a top 3 player right now in the world. Jokic, how are you not giving Jokic the slight edge? He just won 2 MVPs in a row, dude. Come on.
Because Jokic is sitting at home with a team almost as good as the Dallas Mavericks.
No.
And the Mavs are in the Western Conference Finals.
Stop.
And Jokic is sitting at home.
Dinwiddie and Brunson are way better than anyone Jokic had available in that first round. It's not even close.
Dinwiddie and Brunson? Those are your second best players?
Right, but what's Will Barton Jokic's second best player? Like, come on.
Aaron Gordon
made
all-star teams.
Oh,
Aaron
my
Gordon
gosh.
made some all-star teams.
Don't even talk about Aaron Gordon. That man is not good. Come on. Jokic averaged 36.
Dinwiddie averaged 6. Until Game 6 and Game 7, Dinwiddie averaged like 6 a game in this series.
I'm understanding what you're saying here, but a guy just won 2 MVPs in a row, averaged 36, 11, and 8 in the playoffs.
For sure.
36, 11, and 8 in the playoffs this year. So clearly not his fault that they lost.
He's home in the first round, and Luka's in the finals. It's tough for him.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's look at the first round stats. I guarantee Jokic had the best first round stats out of anyone there is. So 36, 11, and 8. What do you want? What do you want him to do?
Stats per usage rate or not? Stat per usage rate? Efficient stats or not? Because Luka's averaging 34, 9, and 9 in his playoff career. So
right,
34, 9.
And I don't know.
Just
I don't know. I think you're just being a little too biased here because you love Luka and you're not high on Jokic. I think you're just a little too biased here. You just
he's
two-time MVP. Come on.
Playoff wins in production will always value more to me in who I think the best players are over regular season awards. And Jokic hasn't proved jack crap to me yet.
And I understand
averaged 34, 9, and 9 in the playoffs.
But if Luka was on the Nuggets and his second best player was freaking Aaron bum-ass Gordon, you would be having this same energy that I'm having. You would be giving Luka a pass for losing in the first round.
We'll see. This could look like an awful take if Jokic comes back and does something in the playoffs next year, but I don't believe in him. Give him Porter, give him Murray. I don't care. Give him whoever you want. I don't believe in him.
Last time he had his guys, guess what? They made it to the Western Conference.
L's in the Western Conference Finals.
But they made it there. And if I do remember right, actually, that is quicker than Luka's ever made the Western Conference Finals. So
Luka's in the Western Conference Finals right now. Third year in the league, he's in the Western Conference Finals.
Jokic was in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. What do you want him to do? He doesn't have his best players. Come on.
We'll see.
Doesn't have the best teammates, I should say. We'll see. I agree, but
Jokic has something to prove next season. If Jokic does nothing in next year's playoffs, he will get absolutely roasted. Like
he's going to get rained. Yes,
like he should. All right. Sorry, we went a little crazy off topic there for y'all, but I think it was a funny experience. All right, let's do a little Western Conference Finals preview quick, and then we'll move on.
Before we do that, I do want to talk briefly about the Warriors Grizzlies series. What is Dylan Brooks? Not even the series itself. Obviously, that's been wrapped up for a bit. What is Dylan Brooks doing out here, saying like, just talking mad shit to the Warriors left and right? Like, bro, you just got eliminated, and you're already out here saying, "Yeah, we'll be back next year. We're young. They're old. Like, don't worry about it." Like, what are you doing, man? So yeah, I just had to bring that up. That's just
it angers me too, because Dylan Brooks isn't even as good as the young players on the Warriors. Jordan Poole was giving Dylan Brooks buckets. Jordan Poole working Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks couldn't even stay in the darn series. And Dylan Brooks is the last man that needs to be talking crap to anyone. Mr. Go 0 for 13 and then the next game shoot 50%. Bummy. I don't want to hear from Dylan Brooks. He can go away. I think it's funny. I like it. I like the aggressiveness a little bit, but it's like sometimes you got to have a little self-awareness, Brooks. And when you're talking crap, when you're talking crap to 3-time champions, you gotta tone it back a little bit here, buddy, until you got some body of work to back it up. And if they were still playing and they were beating them, that's cool, but we'll see. We'll see.
Right. Exactly. And the last thing I want to say about this series, okay, we're out here just experience Klay Thompson 2.0 Desmond Bane against the freaking Wolves. And then he averaged 23.5 points per game against the Wolves. Guess what he averaged against the Warriors? It was a little better than I thought it would be, but no, it was 14.
Oh, okay.
But still, 10 less points per game than versus the Wolves. So he just essentially
– and he was getting open shots against the Warriors too. It's not like they were D'ing him up. He just wasn't hitting crap. It's like Klay Thompson, and then all of a sudden we're Pat Bev from shooting. Oh, that's one thing I did want to talk about too. What do you think of Bev's comments this morning about Chris Paul?
I know I seen today. Today Damian Lillard has been hating on Pat Bev for saying that, and I get what Dame is saying for sure. Pat didn't necessarily need to, be tweeting stuff like that, but it's pretty suspect and factual that he tweeted during the beatdown of the game, watch, someone's going to say that they had injuries this game. And what happened after the game? Chris Paul allegedly had injuries. They asked him about it.
The little loser limp off when you're like, oh, I lost. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I had a quad injury, but I can't tell you about it at all.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I'm siding with Pat Bev on that. I think, again, he probably didn't necessarily need to tweet stuff like that, but he called it and he was right. So
he did call it and he was right. And I respect it. I worry about the Timberwolves having to cash checks for Pat Bev's mouth next year. So I do worry a little bit about that. But he had some points on Chris Paul, and Pat Bev's obviously 100 billion times a worse player than Chris Paul, but you don't have to be better than someone at it to talk on their game. And what Pat Bev said was absolutely right. So
that's factual. So
better, Chris.
Yeah. I'm glad you threw that in there. But Western Conference Finals, Mavs Warriors. I'm gonna go Warriors in 7. I think this series can get pushed to 7, just given Luka's amazingness. This dude is a monster. I wasn't in quite agreement with you that he's second best player in the league, but I put him at 3. So even that, to be 23 years old and already be a top 3 player in the league, it's absolutely insane. And like you said, you cannot argue his playoff production, especially in elimination games. As it stands right now, he's only been in 4 elimination games in his career. 38 points per game in those 4. What? Just absolutely insane. That's the type of aggressiveness and the drive that we've been talking about that stars need to display in these type of games. And he's doing it. So I'm taking the Warriors, slight edge, just based off of that added playoff experience. but the Mavs can go to the finals because of Luka. So
call me prisoner of the moment if you want, but we're flipping. We stick with our pick so far, but we're gonna pull a Skip Bayless and do a little floppity flopperton here, and we're gonna go with the Mavs.
Go with the Mavs, huh?
Mavs in 6.
In 6, ooh, I like it.
We have confidence. You might be prisoner of the moment. Might be prisoner of the moment right now, but big faith in Luka. Mavs in 6, and I know you Warriors fans are gonna roast me for that. Warriors fans are gonna roast me for that, but I'm going with my gut. Saying it with my chest. Mavs in 6.
Mavs in 6. That would be absolutely crazy. No one picked the Mavs to go to the finals this year. If they actually make it, it's either way. I don't know. I don't want to watch the Warriors win. So I'm going to be rooting for the Mavs. I'm going to give a slight edge to the Warriors. But yeah, hopefully these series I just want them to be competitive and close the entire time. I don't like watching blowouts, so I hope every game is just close and fun to watch.
That was the sad part about Game 7s yesterday. Why
were they both blowouts?
Which freaking sucks. So
yeah, absolutely sucks. But when does that start? That starts tomorrow, right? Eastern Conference Finals, or do they both start tomorrow?
Tuesday.
I know that
Tuesday.
They both do?
Yeah. No, just they go every other. So
just the East. Okay.
East will be
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, our last little topic here, we'll wrap up the NBA talk, is just a quick reaction to the Vikings. We won't dive into this schedule too much here because obviously tons of time until the season starts. We don't really even know what our roster is, what our opponents' rosters look like, that kind of stuff. But initial reaction, I love that we open the year up with the Packers. I want to just kick their ass right away week 1, and let's just start the season on a good note, and hopefully that can propel us to a solid record. My goal is 5-2. Looking at these games here, I don't see why. Oh no, that would be 4-2. My bad. I don't see why we can't be 4-2 at least going into that week 7 bye.
I think 3-3 is a more realistic expectation, but I see that. I think the Dolphins will pose a tough game for us, and I think obviously the Packers is pretty much 50-50 toss-up. Eagles on Monday night scares me a lot. We have some Monday night production history and at Philadelphia, but we should be able to polish off that 3-game homestand there, Lions, Saints, Bears. So I'm decently confident in those 3 games, but the other 3, maybe we can win one of the 3 of those, pull off a 4-2. I think that'd be a good start as well.
And I think it kind of, I don't want to say worse, but I don't think our schedule is like too outlandishly tough after our bye. Obviously, you got the Cardinals right out of it, but I mean, I guess we'll see what the Cardinals do this year. But given these last couple of years, they're obviously a very inconsistent team. That's a winnable game.
And we got we got our man KOC there, and the Rams have dominated the Cardinals. And I love O'Connell coming off a bye week against Kingsbury. If O'Connell's as good of a coach as we all hope he is, he should be able to outcoach Cliff Kingsbury, as the Rams have consistently outcoached the Cardinals in recent come-ups. So I have a little bit of confidence in that one, especially coming off a bye. Bills, Dallas, Patriots. That is a tough 3-game that's a stretch there. We got to try to sneak one of those. We play the Patriots on Thanksgiving night, so that'll be a very interesting 7:20 Thanksgiving night there. So yeah.
At least I am glad that stretch there, 2 of those 3 games are at home.
True.
So that gives me a little more confidence and faith. But yeah, obviously the opponents though are very tough opponents, and it does get easier after the Patriots. Jets, Lions, Colts, Giants, Packers, Bears. I mean, Packers would be the most questionable game out of all of those. So I'm gonna initially predict 11-6 for our Minnesota Vikings this year. What do you got, Spinny?
I got 10-7. Did you have them winning the Dolphins game?
Yes, that would be
probably our flip. Yep.
That's our flip then, I think.
Yep. I believe so.
So.
I had their losses as Packers, Eagles, Dolphins. I had them losing to the Cards to Bills, Patriots, and Packers the second time. Those are my 7 losses. So there we are. 10-7, 11-6 you had. I'd love anywhere in here for the Vikings. I think given the Packers' awful roster management this season that they could fall in that 9-8, 10-7 range as well. So hopefully we can sneak a couple of those out, and we have faith in Kevin O'Connell, I think. So I love the head coaching change, and hopefully he's as good as we all think he is.
Agree. Well, that is it for our content for this.
There we go,
episode.
y'all. Sponsored by Corona, but not sponsored by Corona. Corona, you can sponsor us if you want, but
that would be amazing, actually.
That'd be lit. Sponsors up, Corona. I'll drink your beers every day.
I was just gonna say, Corona. I will literally sit here and show your logo as I drink every single time.
We'll put a nice Corona poster up here next to the unedited one. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So what the heck you got for us for Q&A, Bus? Light me up.
We actually got some Q&A today. 2 questions from Chase. Richter has obviously been a guest twice for us. Interesting questions, I thought. I'm gonna go this one first. Way too early Super Bowl winner.
Bucks.
You're gonna rock with the Bucks? God, I hate you so much. I hate the Bucks so much. Who am I going to pick here?
Buffalo. Buffalo is my AFC pick.
That's my pick. That's my pick. The Bills. That'd be my way too early Super Bowl pick here. Josh Allen. I got some faith in Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's a stud.
Yeah, and he was a monster last year in the playoffs. The second question here. Passing, rushing, and receiving leader predictions. Who do you think will lead each category next year? Those that don't know, Tom Brady led passing yards, Jonathan Taylor rushing yards, and Cooper Kupp receiving yards this past year. So I guess for me, passing yards, I'm going to take an insane gamble here, and I'm going to go Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr has the potential to lead the NFL in passing yards this year. He was 5th last year in the NFL. 5th in the NFL, 4,800 plus yards he threw without Devonta Adams. So I'm going to I think he's going to hit 5K this year. I think Derek Carr can hit 5K. And as long as he shows up on a week-to-week basis with all the weapons he has and now Devonta Adams as well, I don't see how he couldn't. I mean, he has the potential to at least. So I'm gonna go with dark horse and pick Derek Carr for my passing leader.
I'm also going AFC West on my passing leader, and we'll go with Justin Herbert. I think it's a big step for my guy Justin. We all be sleeping on Pat Mahomes, but I think Herbert could be the guy given the weapons production he's got going on there and how much they throw the ball. So,
yep. That was my other pick, so I like that. He finished 2nd last year in NFL, so he's right there already. Rushing, let's do rushing next. I'm going to stick with John Taylor. I think he's going to do it 2 years in a row. I'm running with John Taylor.
Big research.
You're going Derrick Henry rebound?
This is going to be his final great year. I think he's gonna come out and dog us all, and then this will be the swan song greatness year for him, I think. And then he'll probably have a few very productive seasons, but probably not at the same level. And receiving, this is obvious for me, given Kevin O'Connell's words about Justin Jefferson's Cooper Kupp role in the offense. If we can get Justin Jefferson in a Cooper Kupp role, this man is going to eat. And you saw Cooper Kupp Triple Crown last year. I think Justin Jefferson is a more pure talented receiver than Cooper Kupp. And so if you put him in those same type of experiences, I think Jay Jets has a huge shot to be the guy.
Yep, Jets, another guy who was 2nd last year, so he's obviously up there already. And like you said, given this new system O'Connell's going to put in, he's going to emphasize Justin Jefferson in the same way that he emphasized Cooper Kupp in that Rams offense last year. So I just think, I don't see how this could go bad. As long as we stay healthy and Kirk and Jefferson stay healthy, that's my prediction as well. I got Jefferson somehow even taking another step forward in year 3. Just absolutely insane production from this man so far to start his career. So I hope we're right with that one as well. So Chase, those would be our picks. Chase, I'm sure you'll be listening, so go ahead and comment down below. Any of you guys comment down below your way too early Super Bowl winner, as well as your way too early stat leaders as well.
Agreed. Shout out to our YouTube commenters. You've been
keep it up
the last couple of weeks. Keep it up. We've been trying. I'm pretty sure we've responded to almost all of you the last couple of weeks. So we'll keep up on that and keep commenting on it. We loved it. We got some strings going, a little arguments going with the guy there, Connor, our boy. And others keep it up and let's get her going. We love you all. And good night.
We do love you all. All right, that's it for episode 14. We will see you guys next week.